Welcome to Art by Rick. I'm Rick. Today I'm just going to do an abstract painting that is multicolored, and we're going to do some different things with this. I have a selection of paintbrushes. These are all different sizes, different shapes. Some are straight edge, some have a bevel edge. I'm going to use these to make different marks on my canvas. I'm also going to do multicolors. So I have off to the side here 10 different colors of different shades, plus my black and white. And I'm going to apply the brush strokes and the paint onto the canvas in different directions, kind of overlapping and mixing them together. Once that's done, I might make some impressions onto that paint to give it some depth and give it some interesting things to look at. This is a very simple abstract to do. It does take a lot because it's a lot to do on this one particular canvas, but we're going to have fun and do that. So before I even start, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to seal the edges of this canvas. I'm going to paint the edges in black. I like to do black edges because when you look at it at an angle, it kind of allows your eye to draw to the painting itself, not to the edge of the painting. So I'll paint that black all the way around. And then once I do that, I'll start to apply my colors. All right, now what I've done with this canvas is I painted the edges black. I kind of readjusted the camera so you can actually see the canvas that I'm talking about. I believe this is, I think, an 18 by 24. It's a good size canvas, stretched canvas over wood. And I'm going to do multiple colors on this. I'm going to take my different brushes, I'm going to dip them into different colors, and I'm just going to make paint strokes on the canvas, kind of in different directions, whatever my feeling happens to be, trying to match my colors so that they make sense. All right, so I'm going to readjust the camera. I'm going to bring it in onto the canvas like I always do, and then we'll take a look at how I'm going to lay down these colors and what kind of patterns will start to emerge, and then we'll go from there. Okay, what I've done is I've put the camera so that it's facing onto the canvas, so you can see the white canvas that I'm going to paint. This is going to be, as I said, I'm just going to be laying down some paints and laying down some colors and seeing what we kind of get. It's almost like you want to put this as a kind of painting that reflects your mood, maybe, I guess is the best way to describe it. I don't know. I kind of just like to stare at the canvas for just a few minutes to kind of give me an idea of how I might want to place my colors. So I was using the black. I used a small paintbrush, and I used the black to kind of paint the edges. So I'm going to just use the black paint just to kind of make some designs here. I'm actually doing what I call cleaning the brush. I'm just kind of getting the black paint that I was using onto the canvas. You know, sometimes you look at the simplicity of these canvases and you say to yourself, oh, hey, that looks good. I think I'll just leave it like that. You know, I do some time to time, I do what's called silhouette type painting, which is just basically a drawing on a white canvas where you draw your lines, but you don't actually finish whatever you're drawing, so that the person looking at it, their brain kind of fills in what's missing to see what the picture actually is. So those are kind of an interesting thing for a play to do. All right, so I'll take a plate, my plate here. I'm going to put that down, and I'll put some colors on it. We'll start with some darker colors. I always like to start with the darker colors before I go to the lighter colors. So I'm going to do some darker colors here. I have some blue. I might do a little bit of red. There's some red. I actually have a brown here. I just thought the brown might be something for balance. I don't know. So I got the brown, and then I'll do some green. So I'll start with these 4 colors. I'm going to use different brushes. Let's see, I'll start with maybe a medium-sized brush. This is an older brush, by the way. The hairs on the brush are pretty spread, but it does give me some different types of looks. So I'll just put this one in the blue, and I'm just going to kind of pick some areas to paint. So I'll just do some blue marks on here. Just doing some blue. I'll just do some blue. Blue, blue, blue. Here we go. Just doing the blue on the canvas. And again, I'm letting the bristles on the brush kind of show through the canvas, because again, I'm going to mix these. So I'm just pulling down, doing some blue. So there's my blue. Okay. I'll put the blue aside. I'll pick another brush, this one here, and I'll do some red. And maybe I'll go in the opposite direction for the red. So I'll just tap into the blue and I'll go the red. I'll do a little red there. I'll do a little red here. Maybe I'll back off a little red on this side over here. And I'll come off of the blue down this way. So again, I'm just adding colors to the canvas in different directions. Maybe I'm just going to put some red right here, just pretty much by itself. Just let the red dot go there, maybe like that. Okay, so there's some red on the canvas. I'll put that brush aside. I'll take another brush, maybe a little smaller one this time, and I'm going to do brown. And maybe for the brown, maybe I'll just draw some lines of the brown kind of through the canvas itself as to what's going on. So I'm just doing some zigzagging around, just kind of going around my colors, letting the paint drag out, letting the brush kind of drag it, fade it as it's going along, just to see what might come out here. So there, I'm just going to add some brown on there like that. And I'll put that brown brush, put the brown brush aside. I'll switch brushes again. I have another brush here. I'm always using a clean brush, and I'm going to do some green. So for the green, I think I'll do what I call brush taps. So I'm just going to tap the brush onto the canvas like this. And that's just giving me some green blotches here and there on the canvas. And I mean, this doesn't really kind of make a lot of sense right now, but it is kind of colorful. I am going to add some additional colors to it. So what I will do is I will let this set up just a little bit, and then I'll come back and I'll add some additional colors. Maybe we'll go with some lighter colors, okay? All right, so let's just let this sit just the way that it is. I'll wash out my brushes, and then I'll go to my next level of colors. Now I've let this set up a little bit, so now I'm going to add some more color to it. I picked 3 more colors. I kind of call these my carnival colors because they're the light colors. Basically what I'm using here is a little bit of the yellow, orange, some purple, and some pink. And I'm going to do the same thing. I got a lot of white space on this canvas, and I plan to cover the canvas completely. So I'm going to take one of my brushes, dip it in the paint, and I'm going to add some yellow strikes onto this. So here we go. We're just going to add some yellow, And if it gets mixed in with other colors, that's fine, because this is going to all mix together. It's got some green with the yellow. I'll take another brush. I'm going to add some orange on here. With a little bit of yellow mixed into it. Just adding some yellow. I'm kind of making a mess, quite honestly, but that's just the way this painting is going to be. It's just going to be multicolored. Well, I got a little bit too much mix into there. All right, let's see if we can add some pink on here, just plain pink. All right, we're adding the pink, 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 pink. Okay. And now we'll let this go with another color. We're going to use some purple. Purple, I think I'm going to do, maybe I'll do a little bit of striking on this with the purple. As I drag it through the other colors, it's going to kind of mix. We'll have some purple on here, and then we'll have some colors with the other colors on here. So we're just going to kind of mix this in and do some strikes on here. All right, so now the next step for my abstract is to allow this to set up, and then we'll come back and we'll start to add some ribbon style painting to it, thicken it up a little bit, and then we'll do some impressions. All right, so let's just let this sit for a minute, and then we'll continue on as we continue our abstract. So now that we've added these colors, we're going to add a few more colors. So let's see. Let's do I'm going to kind of repeat the colors that I did before. So I'm going to do some blue. So we'll put the blue on there. And I'm going to use a wider brush this time, a bigger brush, because what I want to do is I want to really get some, I want to get some coverage on here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to make some swiping motions. So I'm basically taking the paint, and I'm just going to do some swiping motions on here. All right, I need to add a little bit more blue. And there we go. We're just adding some swiping motions on here. All right. Now we'll switch off. We'll put some brighter colors on here. Let's do the purple, because I like the way the purple always looks with the blue. So I'm going to add some purple on here. And again, I'm going to do some swiping motions. Again, we're trying to cover this whole canvas. So that's what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to smear some paint on here and cover the whole canvas. All right, so there's our purple. And I'm going to switch up and use, let's see. I think if I do a little yellow, the yellow is going to mix with the purple and the green color, or the purple and the blue. And I think that's going to give me some interesting things. I think what I'll do is I'll do some swirls on here. So I'll take my brush, and I'm going to do some swirls. Just some swirls. Little swirls, just like that. And again, I'm just going to kind of draw on here. Like I said, I'm making a mess. And I'm just letting it kind of mix in together and seeing what I'm getting here. And now I'm going to let this dry and set up. And then the plans are to kind of start giving it some impression details in here. So we'll see what we can come up with when we do that. I'm going to go create my special tools. I'll let this dry up. And when I come back, I'm going to show you how I do a little bit more adds to this to make this really interesting to look at. There we go. All right, so now what I've done is I've let this set up a little bit. And I added, I've added my colors. So what we've been doing here is we've been layering colors on this particular painting. Just layering one color after another, trying to get kind of a depth and a dimension on this particular painting. And there's a reason why I'm doing that. And I'm going to explain that in a few seconds here. But what I want to do is I want to add some more color to this painting. I went a little bit heavy on the yellow here, so I think I'm going to temper this a little bit. So I like the purple. So I'm going to just add a little bit of purple onto this. And I think I'll use my 1-inch brush on this, just a 1-inch brush, a little bit of purple. I'm going to add a little bit more purple onto here. So wherever I see the purple, I think I'm just going to enhance it a little bit, make that purple a little bit more, just like that. Okay. This is one of the things about an abstract, is you kind of go around and you add things to it as you're going. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit more purple here. There we go. I like the orange, so I'm going to add a little more orange to this. So I'm going through and I'm finding those areas that were orange, so I'm trying to get the orange to spit out here a little bit. The orange kind of got buried, so I just want to get that out here a little more. Okay, there's our orange. And I think I need my blue, just to add some of the blue onto here. Where I went a little heavy on the yellow, I'm going to add back some of the blue. So again, I'm just going to add back some blue in here. And what I'm trying to accomplish here is I'm trying to cover the canvas. There's a reason for my madness here, and I'll show you what that is in a minute. And I'm just adding back some of the blue that was on here, just to get the blue. All right, I'll let this set up a little bit, and then I'll come back and I'll add a few more colors. And then I made something kind of special to make some impressions on this that I hope will give it something very interesting to look at. So let me set this up, or let this set up just for a few more minutes, and then we'll come back, we'll add a couple of more colors to it, and then we'll do our impressions. All right, so let's let this set up. Now, how am I going to add the patterns? Well, I've come up with a little bit of a design. I'll tell you the story behind this. I was actually looking to do firework displays, which I had done on one of my other paintings. I think you saw that one, the one that I did for July 4th. So what I did was I took a toilet paper roll and I cut the end of it to kind of flare it, to make these little, I don't know, just cutouts there here. And I'm going to use this as a guideline onto the painting. So I'll place this onto the painting like this. I'll take my brush and I'll take a bright color like the red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just paint onto this cardboard cutting that I've done. And I'm just going to make some circles on here. So I'm just painting around the circles. And what will happen when I lift this up is the cardboard itself has stopped the paint from actually getting onto the canvas, so we'll end up with an impression. So let's pick this up and see what it looks like. Interesting. All right, let's do another one. Let's do one down here. So again, I'm just going to paint onto the cardboard itself. I'm just painting around, and we'll see what we get here as far as, I'm trying to stick to the length of the cardboard to kind of make these the same size. And again, I'll pull it up. I've got a little bit more of an interesting design there. All right. And since I have some of the green left over, I have a larger one that I did. This one has a little bit more as far as the cutouts are concerned. So I'll place that on here. And I think I'll use my green to go around on this one. So I might have to add a little bit more green paint here. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'll just paint out on this one the green. And I'm just going around painting, 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 painting to try and get these bursts onto my canvas. All right. And where the cardboard has hidden the painting, I'll pull this up. And there you go. You kind of get little bursts on there. I don't know how that piece got there, but that's kind of interesting. I think I'll do another one down towards the end here. So I'll grab some more paint. I'll do this one. Oh, we'll go down here. And again, I'm painting around, painting around, painting around. And then I'll pick it up. And we have kind of these little splotches on the colors of the paint here. So I don't know if you can see these or not. I'll switch it off. I'll do a different color. I think I want something a little brighter. Maybe I might do some yellow here. It's one of the fun things about doing these kinds of paintings is you want to make sure that you don't overwhelm it too much, but we might do a little bit of yellow. So I have another one prepared here, and I'm going to do some yellow. I think I'll put this yellow one right in the middle here. So again, I'm just going to paint around, just allowing this to kind of streak to give me those bursts. All right, I'll let this set up. We'll see how this looks. There we go. I think I'll do one up here just real quick before we go off camera. Some of the paint that's on here is still a little wet, so we're going to get a little mixture, but that's fine. It gives us some interest to look at here. All right. So let's let this set up a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll do some finishing work on our multicolored abstract. So I think my abstract painting has dried enough to be able to take a really good look at it to see what it is we actually did. So again, what I did with this particular canvas is I laid colors down. I picked 10 different colors and I just kind of put them on the canvas any which way I felt like putting them. I did some paint strokes, I did some sideways strips, I did some up and downs, I did some S-jags, I just kind of adding the color. Each time I would add a color or 2 or 3 colors, I would let it dry and then come back and add more color because I didn't want the colors to blend too much together. Once I had covered the whole canvas with the colored paint that I wanted to do, I then took my special little tool, my cardboard roll that I shredded, and put it down onto the canvas. When you're doing an abstract painting, you can come up with kind of the idea of what you want to do, but then kind of just allow yourself to let go and create, see what comes out. You can always change it. You can always add to it. You can always paint over it and start over again. No pressure. It's just a matter of trying to express yourself as to what you want to do for painting. You'll find it very relaxing. You find it's great to be creative. You never know what you're going to come up with. My name is Rick, and this has been Art by Rick. This is our paint stroke abstract. I thank you very much for watching. Just make sure you go out there and paint and let the artist in you come out.
Hi, I'm Jay McCormick, a board director at Nutmeg TV, your local public TV station right here in Farmington. Nutmeg TV has been an integral part of our community for over 30 years, providing a platform for residents to share stories, voice concerns, and celebrate achievements. It's a vital resource that connects us all, bringing countless local events to our TV screens. The topics are limitless and vary from being aware of scams to veterans helping veterans. Nutmeg TV continues to be here for the community. To continue this important work, we're asking for your support through a donation. Your contribution will ensure that Nutmeg TV remains a robust and relevant resource for our community. Thank you for supporting Nutmeg TV. Together, we can continue to amplify the voices and stories that make our community unique and vibrant.
To make a donation, simply visit our website at nutmegtv.com or call the office at 860-321-7405 for assistance.
Nick Augustino right here at the East Side Restaurant. We always have the complete full dinner menu. Knockwurst, bratwurst, sauerbraten, potato pancakes, red cabbage, rice pudding, cream pies, all the desserts that Germany had to offer. I always do something different. Yes, I do. I brought seafood to the beer garden at the East Side Restaurant. East Side Restaurant, your German destination restaurant in Connecticut. Tiki-taka, hoy, hoy, hoy!